For the last 3 or 4 days, I've been using the Portal as my main gaming handheld, and I've had an awesome experience with it. AYN sent over some accessories for me to take a look at. Let's hop in and take a closer look at some of the best accessories for the Odin 2 Portal. The very first thing that I installed on this device in particular was the screen protector. Now I gotta admit, while not being completely perfect, it does alleviate some of the issues that I had with this device to begin with. I'm gonna shut off the screen so you can see this a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the benefits of this, and that's that it does a really good job at resisting fingerprints. I can't get anything on this screen. It does a really good job. Unfortunately, you're able to see one of the biggest flaws of this screen protector, and that's just that these edges don't seem to stick down properly. I know somebody that has their Portal already, and they have the official screen protector too, but they're having exactly the same issues. The edges just aren't sticking down. I thought it would look kind of weird just having the screen protector over the screen itself. However, now that I've applied this, I really don't think it looks that bad. It's a shame we can't get a screen protector to put on the edges, but with that glass being curved, I really don't think there's much they could have done about that. I don't think I'm going to keep this screen protector on just because of these edges. I'm not sure if this screen protector in particular just has a faulty edge on it. If you do get a good one though, this does a good job at resisting fingerprints, so I still think this is worth picking up. I also recommend using some dust stickers. I only had 2 guide stickers left, so I used one of these to pull all the dust off the screen. The other thing that everybody has been asking about is the Odin 2 Portal grip. I'm personally not really bothered by the ergonomics on the Portal to begin with, but having tried this, it's extremely hard to go back to the stock configuration. It comes in this professional box. I've already gone ahead and installed this because I was playing some Wukong on it yesterday, and I really wanted to see how this improved the streaming performance. The grip also comes with 2 little attachments for the paddles. These paddles have adhesive on the back. It's 3M adhesive. I'm kind of personally wary of sticking anything to my devices, so I don't think I'm going to install these. However, I'll show you in a minute that I don't think that you're going to need these. I did brighten up my camera a little bit so it's easier to kind of see the texture on this, but on the back of it, you get a really good smudge resistant plastic. We also get a really nice grip on the edges. There's a nice texture on there. Installing the Portal into the grip is really easy. Just slide it down, that locks in place in the bottom, then just push it down on the top, and it's already in. It's super easy to get in, and it's really easy to get out. This does add a lot of grip on the back in general. In my experience, this kind of feels closer to an x86 device now with this grip on here than it did before with just nothing on the back. This has some really chunky grips on it now. At the thickest part of the grip, it's about 38.6 millimeters. That's a pretty big grip for an ARM handheld. At the top where the triggers are, that comes out to 28 millimeters. For comparison's sake, without the grip on, we're looking at 26.2 millimeters at the top. However, the grip on the bottom takes quite a hit, going down to 26.4 millimeters. The biggest addition is definitely on this bottom part. I did have a few people asking how much this grip weighs. The grip by itself comes out to 86.5 grams. Remember, the Odin Portal comes out to 451.5 grams. This brings the total weight for the device with the grips on it to 538 grams. I use a grip for the Switch OLED so the Joy-Cons don't wobble. Having this on the Switch OLED brings it out to about 489.8 grams. The closest device that I have compared to that is the ROG Ally X at 698.2 grams. This is definitely a heavier device. However, we're not done talking about the ROG Ally X yet. One area that I want to compare this with the Portal is on these grips. For some reason, the grips on this remind me a lot of the Odin Portal with that grip on it. These grips come out to 36 millimeters right on the dot. It is kind of hard to take a measurement on these just because the top part, there's a little lip around it. But in general, these are very close to 36 millimeters. So to me anyways, the grips on this just feel very similar to the grips on the ROG Ally X, and that's probably why I like them so much. I use my ROG Ally X more than any other handheld. AYN did a fantastic job with the grips on this. Let's talk about the ergonomics in general now. Having the grip on the back gives you a bigger corner to hold on to with the palm of your hand. It feels very comfortable. There's also some texture on that, as we saw, for some added grip. I also find that this makes the joysticks much more comfortable to use. And when you're streaming PC games, this makes all the difference. The buttons are also well placed to use with this grip. The triggers and bumpers feel natural too with this grip on the back. This is kind of how I hold on to it. My middle finger kind of rests on these paddles. They're still extremely easy to push, even without those attachments on. This is kind of the way I would use it. I highly recommend the grip. This grip also solves one issue with this device that I had to begin with, and that's the plastic. Remember how the back was extremely smudgy for my review? Well, this thing is absolutely smudge resistant. I've been using this for a while and I can't get any smudges on this at all. The grips, because they have those texture, are even more smudge resistant. So if you want the black model and you're worried about smudges, I think the grip might be a good way to mitigate that concern. In terms of build quality, this actually reminds me a lot of the cases that I've seen from Spigen. Spigen cases are extremely high quality. I've used a lot of them over the years. I had one on my Switch Lite, and I have that one on my Switch OLED. The one I have on my Switch OLED is a hard plastic, whereas this is kind of like a hard rubber. Extremely grippy, very smudge resistant, and good build quality. On the top, there's a cutout for the air exhaust, and there's also a little rubber covering for the volume and the power buttons. This makes these ever so slightly harder to push. Still not too bad. With the grip on, the back buttons really aren't that far down. With the attachment off the back paddles, we can see just how much that grip is adding. They've left the air intake completely wide open. For my tests, I really haven't noticed much of an addition in temperature change. Maybe a degree, but I think that's within margin of error. On the front, this goes ever so slightly over the edge. When I'm pressing the B button, this little lip that comes over from the grip isn't actually close enough to hit my finger. There's a nice cutout around the trigger and the bumper too. These are still easy to push, and it doesn't affect the gameplay whatsoever. It's also still extremely easy to open up the microSD card slot, and the cutouts around everything else are well placed. Gives you plenty of room to still access these. So would I get the grip? Well, if you're okay with the stock configuration and it doesn't really bother you, you're probably okay. I would definitely get the grip though if smudges bother you, or if you want better ergonomics in general. If you're used to big handhelds like I am, this is a night and day difference, and I definitely think you should pick this up. So the next thing we should take a look at is their case. Right off the bat, I'm noticing a little wobble on this. This has a really good texture to it. It's very similar to that material that we've seen on the ROG Ally case from Skull & Co, and extremely close to the one on the Steam Deck. It's a great design for the case. The build quality on this is better than I've ever seen from AYN. We have some rubber coverings on the zipper. This gives you a really good grip to hold on to when you're opening it. There's also an adjustable strap on the top part, and it gives you a good grip to hold on to. On the bottom, there's some bumps that stick out. So let's take a peek inside. In the case itself, there's a zipper compartment on the top. Now, I am slightly concerned about this zipper in particular scratching the sides of the device. I'm guessing that they thought of this before designing it, so it should be okay. But I would probably leave this in the center so it goes over top of this middle piece down here, and so you don't risk that. The zipper does work nice, and it gives you a little space at the top to put anything else. You could probably put some cables up here. I don't think you'd have any room up here for something like earbuds, but something thin, probably have about under a centimeter of space at the top to put your stuff. There's a nice pocket down at the bottom. The felt cover underneath protects the screen. I also really like this little strap underneath. When you want to get the portal up, just lift it and it'll pull up the portal. There's just simply no room to put this in this case with the grip on it. The grip was definitely an aftersight when they designed this case. I'm going to make sure to put that zipper in the middle. It's a solid little bag for the device, but definitely be wary of that zipper. The other thing that I would say is don't buy this if you want to keep the grip on it all the time. There's actually a way to go about fixing the height on these without the new caps. I have these small little caps from Skull & Co. These are designed for the Nintendo Switch, and they also fit right on top of these joysticks, with no modifications needed. Just flip them out, and then put them on, push down, and they sit right on there. The stock height of these joysticks is just over 7mm at about 7.2. With these joystick caps on, they sit at 11, so this is adding quite a lot of height. So it got me wondering, is there any case that this fits in with the grips installed and these joystick caps? Let me go grab a couple cases that I have sitting around and I'll check them out and see what fits. I don't think this is going to fit, but I did want to show people just in case. I had a lot of people wondering if this would fit into the Switch OLED cases. Width is almost there. It's like right up to the edge of the zipper though. It doesn't really have room to close either. That definitely doesn't fit in there. The only other case that I have on hand is that one that's designed very similar to it. It's got similar size texture. We have the same rubber grips on the zipper and the same style handle. This is the Skull & Co case for the ROG Ally X, so let's see if it fits. It's got that same soft style texture underneath, and it's got that strap to pull it out. It does fit with the grip on there. There's a little bit of wiggle room though, so I'm not sure that I'd want to use this in particular for it. I am hearing the device shake around a little bit though, so this, I don't know. The option's definitely there. Personally for me, I probably wouldn't use this. Regardless, what do you think about the grip and the case for the Odin Portal? I personally really highly recommend the grip. I wasn't a fan of that screen protector, but that could just be hit or miss. It's good to see AYN upping their quality with things like cases and grips in general, especially the grip. The grip just feels like something right from Spigen. It's just so much more comfortable to use. So my final thoughts, if you're used to big handhelds and you want a better grip, then buy the grip, and I think you'll really like it. It enhances the overall experience, and even if you don't want to put those adhesive stickers on the bumpers, it's still very easy to press those back bumpers. It makes the controls easier to reach. Solid grip. You've heard my thoughts. What do you think about these for the Odin Portal? Are they worth it for you? And which one are you picking up? What do you think about the Odin Portal in general? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. If you haven't seen my review on the Odin Portal, make sure to check that out. I'll also have a setup guide for Beacon coming up, and this is what it looks like. Absolutely fantastic, especially on this device in particular. The pure black levels on this, in particular with this launcher, just look really good. If you have any questions about the grip or anything we talked about today, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and as always, thanks for watching.